Hi. So you're driving on a highway, and all of a sudden a big rig that weighs over 80,000 pounds is right in front of you in your lane. Your first thought is, what is wrong with this driver? Is he okay? Does he need to sleep? Why is he in my lane? My name is Rachel, and I'm here to talk a little bit about a new rule that is going into effect July 1st, 2013, that affects all CDL drivers and their 34-hour restart. This rule that is going into effect is important for the CDL drivers as well as all public that travels on the roadways. The new hours of service rule that is going into effect in July is a rule that consists of safety for the driver being down for a minimum of 34 hours for the 34-hour restart, but consists of a 2 consecutive block period between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., which is considered the best downtime for any driver or person to get sleep. The rule that is set to keep all CDL drivers safe, as well as the public that travel the roadways, and for everyone to work together in order to have a safe environment. I have an example of a driver's log that consists and shows these 2 consecutive blocks of 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. On the first one, the driver shows going into the sleeper berth prior to the 1 a.m. time slot. So he hits his first block of 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. and then he shows on his orange line all the way across for his totaling of his 34-hour restart. And then it shows the second day between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. his second block that he has now hit of his 2 consecutive blocks, and then continues to show to reach his full 34-hour restart. Once he does, he then shows dropping down and is able to technically go into on duty and or into the driver position, and then continues with his day because he has hit the 2 consecutive blocks between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. for his break time. As you can see in the examples provided in the driver's log, there is the 2 blocks between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. that the driver must hit, that must be consecutive. If the driver misses that, he has to then make choices of what to do and how to get a full 34 restart or what other options he has. All drivers need to abide by the rules that have been set into place, and the federal government and DOT inspectors are out and will be out in full force as of July 1st to make sure that all CDL drivers are abiding by these new rules that have been set into place of going down for a minimum 34-hour restart consisting of 2 consecutive blocks between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., which then will need 6 hours prior to or after that consists of the full minimum 34-hour restart. With the information I have provided, you are now aware of the new rule, but let's talk a little more about the options that these drivers have. If a driver does not get into the sleeper berth to begin his minimum 34-hour restart, what options does he have in order to fulfill his full minimum 34-hour restart consisting of the 2 consecutive blocks between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m.? One would be to go down for an additional 24 hours that may be needed in order to hit the 2 consecutive blocks. On the example I have here, this driver does not go down in time between the 1 a.m. and the 5 a.m. It shows he goes down by 3 a.m. Therefore, he has gone down during the time, but not prior to. So he then puts himself into the sleeper berth for 21 hours. Day 2, he shows his first consecutive block of the 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. So this is his first block of the 2 between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And he leaves himself in the sleeper berth, staying consecutive with his blocks and time off. And then shows his second consecutive block between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. before the 1 a.m. period that now shows a full 34-hour restart plus the extra time that he has now needed. In this example shown, this driver needed a full 50 hours in order to hit the 2 consecutive blocks between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. A second option that the drivers have, if they do not want to go over and use extra time, is to switch to a 7-day log and to gain back the hours used on their 8th day. This is not recommended unless a driver knows how to calculate safely and correctly the hours used prior to his 8th day of use. The driver is still required to do a 10-hour break, and if he gains hours on that 8th day, whether it be 8, 10, 14, the driver then can get up and go into the driving mode and is then bypassing his 34-hour restart and just working off of an 8-day log. This is not recommended unless the driver knows how to do it safely and is able to do it correctly for his safety as well as the public's. As the new rule states, according to the jjkeller.com website, the drivers do not need to be at their home terminal in order to get the 34-hour restart. If they are unable to make it to their home terminal, they are then required to find a safe location to then be considered their home terminal to begin their minimum 34-hour restart, consisting of the 2 consecutive blocks between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. or do the 7-day log and gaining hours back on the 8th day. This rule again put into place for the CDL driver's safety as well as the public safety. It is important again for the driver to understand what and how to log everything correctly, and if is not sure of what to do, they then need to speak with their supervisor to find out what they need to do and what actions they need to take. When the new rule for the 34 hours restart goes into effect on July 1st, all drivers need to be on board to keep themselves and the public safe, to keep the roadway safe, and to have all travel be considered safe. Again, to wrap it all up, the drivers are able to work still a 70-hour work week, but they must abide to the new law that has been put into effect as of July 1st, 2013. That is part of the jjkeller.com website as well as the www.fmcsa.com website that states clearly what is considered a safe and correct 34-hour restart, consisting of 2 consecutive block periods between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. If the driver is unable to meet these needs, they are able to switch to a 7-day log. If the driver is still unable to meet these needs, the driver needs to stay down just for a full 24 hours to confirm they have hit these time periods quickly, safely, and correctly. Safety is the #1 priority for all the CDL drivers and the public, and to bring everyone together on the roadways. If the rules are followed correctly by the CDL drivers, the public will have safer roadways as well as the CDL drivers, and avoid some health problems as well as safety hazards on the road. July 1st, the new rule goes into effect for hours of service, and hopefully all CDL drivers will abide. Thank you.